Okay, Golden Swordsoul. I want to briefly talk about Swordsoul and why I think it's one of the best cards we have right now, branded, and like you should be running it. I think it's a staple at this point. I think branded just feels significantly worse to play without it. Like it's one of those cards to where like you don't really know how good it is until you like use it often, and then once you do, it's you ask yourself how you ever played without this card. It's one of those cards. I think this card is in the same category as Star Wars Dragon in terms of, well, just that category being if you're not running this card, I don't know what you're doing. This card is too good for anyone who's not too familiar with it. And I'll go over it briefly. When a monster declares an attack, you special summon this card from your hand. If you do, negate the attack. Then if you control a fusion monster that mentions fallen value as material, you can destroy that monster that declared that attack. We do not run this card for this effect, even though this effect comes up and is very useful. We do not run it for this effect. We run it for the secondary effect. If a monster is banished face up, except on a damage check, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard. Special summon one light spell, cast a monster from your hand or graveyard. Hand or graveyard is very important. Whose attack equals its own defense, which is Quem and Cartasia. Being able to summon any one of these two during your opponent's turn, and not even just your opponent's turn, like just being able to summon any one of these two, just having an extra way to summon these and get these out on the field is just extremely strong. Especially during your opponent's turn, that's just additional interruption. You know, you're summoning Quem, you know, you're sending Sword. Sword is adding back Swordsoul, and now you have battle protection for Quem, and now Quem is like damn near guaranteed to trigger, you know. Or say you don't summon Quem and you summon Cartasia, and now you have Rupelion on the field plus what Shroud of Dragon in hand, and now you can make Lad without needing banishment or Brandon Red or just whatever, you know. It's just extremely strong card. It synergizes with so many cards in Brandon, like just naturally. Like the Bishul synergizes with any Bishul, synergizes with Mirror Jade. You can trigger this whenever you want off of Mirror Jade. Grangno, Called by the Grave, you know, just any, because if any monster is banished face up, this card is triggered. So just very strong. Very strong. It's also a high spirits target. It is a spellcaster, so it is a high spirits target. It comes up very often. Like, cause the only argument I could see, the only argument I can think of for not running this card is, other than it being a potential brick, even though it's still a high spirits target, and it could still be, you know, this plus a Bishul is still Verte, you know, like, so it's kind, you don't really want this card to be in your hand. And the only other argument I can think of is if it didn't come up as often as it does, but it comes up like in theory you would think it wouldn't come up too often, like maybe you might not have it in the graveyard all the time, but no, this card comes up very often, at least for me, because I like to get it set up a lot, because it just increases your ceiling significantly in Brandon. Like it really does. Having that extra summon does a lot more than you would think it do, because it just allows you to snowball. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, when you get one of these two out, like so many, it allows for so many additional like plays potentially. You know, maybe not always, but definitely potentially, and usually most of the time, like you will get off like what you're trying to get off. But I do have some replays I'm gonna go over and just like obviously showcase the things that I'm talking about, so you know, you get a better view of it. I already have shown a lot of these off, like just and so have other players. Obviously, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm just the guy who discovered it. No, of course not. But yeah, but I have shown these like just plays with Swordsoul, and Swordsoul just winning me games or just keeping me in games, like throughout my channel a lot in the videos. But I still want to go over some more, and so let's go over that.
Let's get into game one. I don't have too many replays here. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna go over maybe like a few games. I'm not gonna break down every little decision I make, but you know, I will go over some. I was expecting Maxi here. This is why I added Cartasia to my hand off of a Mercurial Search. And opening is a good test for Max C because you know we have the option, especially when we don't have to. So search loss. Since we already had fusion, so now we can get the courier back. And we send Swordsoul off the fusion. That's another like good thing about Swordsoul is it can help make your Max C line, your Sanctifier like stronger because you know you get that additional potential interruption if you have Quim or Cartasia in rotation at all. So we Sanctify here just to get rid of their bridge into Spirit, making it a little harder for them to, you know, extend if they don't have Maiden or Wishes in hand. And we add Shrouded for later. Also, we discard Owlbat. Normally, I would opt to discard whatever I'm going to summon off of Swordsoul, whether it be like Quim or Cartasia, you know, because it's just a free discard because we can also summon it from the graveyard. But I wanted Owlbat's Engrave for Rimbrum. Just for that additional interruption, especially against a deck like Blue Eyes, you know, it's very strong. We go for the banish here on the Maxi because I don't want Typhon, and I'm going straight for Lad here. Okay, let's just talk about the ridiculous snowball that just happened all because of Golden Swordsoul. We went from Sanctifier, Alibur, Loss plus Merc to Mirrorjade, Lad, Quim, Cartasia, Renbrum, Albaz in Graveyard plus Branded Sword in Graveyard, so we could add back Swordsoul at any moment or Mercurier for next turn, right? So like Swordsoul just enabled so much. Like it just enabled so much here. Like, and it set us up to pretty much just auto win the game. We went from getting max seed and being in an position to just blow out like we win the game situation. It's crazy. But yeah, like our opponent isn't playing to this. Blue Eyes going second. Come on, like they're not playing. And they're not. Game 2. Alright, game 2. Got Gold Sark, you know, typical branded stuff. He ashes this, which is like, okay, buddy. Getting ashed on Mercurier. Cool. Getting ogred on Alibur. Cool. I don't know what this guy was doing, but you know, he certainly was vibing for sure. He's vibing. So we don't have a discard here. So since we don't have a discard here for Lubellion, we don't search Mercurier. We search Swordsoul here. And we all know what Swordsoul does at this point, you know. Boom. It's free discard. So we had Albaz here because we know we're gonna get Cartasia back on the field at some point. So it's good to add Albaz here, so that way we have that option to, maybe make another Mirror Jade if we need to, and he still counts as Star Source. Also, Swordsoul allows you to safely add Cartasia back to your hand for discard fodder without worrying about needing it to be in the graveyard for Quem to revive. That's another good thing about it. But, okay. Let's keep going. So, boom. Just like that, Mirror Jade's gone, unfortunately. And we see an ample opportunity to just, pretty much end our opponent's turn. But he also has Call By. Now, let's talk about this. Now, of course, Golden Swordsoul is going to trigger here. And we're still chilling, right? Because we have that. But remove Swordsoul from the deck, and what interruption do we have now? Like, let's just talk about it. What do we do here if we didn't run Swordsoul? What do we do? What do we do? We have Grangwig Knoll. I mean, yeah, Grangwig Knoll could trigger off Maiden, but does that get us there? Like, is that enough? Like, does that win us the game? It maybe keeps us alive, right, for next turn, but we don't want to stay alive. We want to win the duel. Boom. And yep. I mean, Golden Swordsoul, baby. Game 3. And there's so many other examples, like, other than just these 2 games, or the 3 games, whatever, that we're seeing, where Swordsoul just completely turns the tides of the game and keep you in the game. But obviously, I don't want this video to be too long. I'm just showing the duels that I have on hand and fresh duels. Like, there are some older duels I could have shown, or duels that I've already shown in previous videos on my channel that could have made the argument a little more for Swordsoul, just because those games to where I really was going to lose those games, and Swordsoul just completely turned the duel around. But I wanted to just show just fresh duels, new duels. I didn't want to repeat any duels, so. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Where normally I would end on I would get just Mirror Jade here, but now I have so many options here. I got Lad, I got Star Source, I got another Mirror Jade, I got just you can see what's going on here. This is why we run Golden Swordsoul. And he scoops it up, Can't blame him. It's tough to beat. It's tough to beat.